Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Mohd Faizal Jamaludin. Today, I would like to present a recent research paper entitled The Effect of Internal Corporate Governance Mechanism and Institutional Characteristics Towards Company Performance and Mission. This paper is conducted by me as the main researcher, along with Mr. Mohd Faizal as my co-author. First of all, perhaps we would like to start with the definition of corporate governance. Corporate governance is defined as the process and structure used to direct and manage the business and affairs of the company towards promoting business prosperity and corporate accountability. The ultimate objective of realizing with the long-term shareholder value while considering the interests of the other stakeholders. Corporate governance currently is the most crucial element in any public listed company and non-public listed company throughout the world, including Malaysia. Therefore, by having corporate governance, it provides framework of control mechanisms that support the company in achieving its goal, while at the same time preventing unwanted conflicts. The conflicts can be exist between the board of directors and the company's management. Refers to case studies. This study examine the relationship between selected corporate governance mechanism and firm performance in Malaysia by using the recent available data from 2016 until 2017. As for the problem statement of this study, the problem faced in the corporate governance are due to several factors that may affect the management of the company. Today, corporate governance studies have found mixed results regarding the variables that either it should improve the corporate governance of firm performance or either bring negative effect to the company's performance. This study also is to examine either corporate governance mechanisms such as board of directors characteristics, audit committee characteristics, and institutional characteristic effects their firm performance, thus re-evaluating the effectiveness of the current MCCG, which is Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2017. Therefore, from the problem statement, I derive the research objective is to identify, the first one is to identify the relationship between board of director characteristics and performance of Malaysian public listed companies. Second research objective is to identify that the relationship between audit committee characteristics and performance of Malaysian public listed companies. And the third research objective is to identify that the relationship between institutional investors' characteristics and performance of Malaysian public companies. Therefore, the questions for this study, the research question for this study is: does the board of directors' characteristics is significantly associated with performance of Malaysian public companies? The same goes to the audit committee characteristics and the institutional characteristics. Next, we go. In particular, what are the characteristics used in this study? As for the board of directors, the studies includes the board independence, board size, board meeting, and quality. As for audit committee characteristics, the study includes audit committee independence, audit committee size, audit committee meeting. As for institutional characteristics, the study includes institutional investors, audit quality, diversity, family-owned companies, and unit status. These studies measure the company performance, which is the dependent variables, by using the return of company's return of assets, ROA. As I mentioned earlier about the characteristics, for each element, these are the common variables used in the corporate governance studies. The contribution of the study is the recentness of the data used considering post-MCCG 2012. These are the research framework. As for the sample, my study collect a total of 1,555 company for 2 years, namely 2016 and 2017. Okay. The initial sample was 1,604, and after the cleaning data by excluding the companies with missing financial data, 49 companies. So the final sample is 1,555. These are the research design. And now we look into the first table of analysis, which is the univariate analysis. Here, I have listed all the variables, including the dependent variables. And we can see here, okay, for each element, and we go one by one. For audit committee independence, in average, 85% companies appoint independent directors in the audit committee. As for the numbers of meetings for audit committee, in average is 5. But we can see here, the maximum numbers of meetings for audit committee is 19. Normally, in corporate governance studies, the larger the number of meetings, either by audit committee or board of directors, indicate there is something happened in the company. As for the audit committee size, in average is 3.5, equivalent to 4. So these are the minimum numbers for audit committee size. And as for audit quality, 43% of the companies listed in the sample employ or appoint the auditors from Big Four as their audit as their external auditor. Next, we go to the board independence. Okay, here board independence is 49% of the board composition is independent. So these numbers is above the minimum percent, the minimum numbers of board independence required in the firms, which is 1/3. As for board meeting here, almost similar with other committee meeting, in average 5. Here also we can see the maximum numbers of meeting is 21. So this also can be interesting because it indicate there is a company with the specific problems which requires more frequent meeting among the directors. As for the director size, the board of director size is in average is 7, with the minimum numbers is 15 and maximum number is 15. Then we go to the Bumiputera status. It's common in Malaysia that we can see 61% directors in Malaysia in the public listed companies appoint Bumiputera directors. Here we can see that it's 61%. Next, we go to the diversity. Diversity in this study, we measured based on gender, women and men directors. So what we can see here, in average 13% of women appointed as directors. And for duality, only 8% companies appoint their board of director chairman at the same time is also the CEO of the company. As for the family-owned company, 70% is a family-owned company. Interestingly, in Malaysia, is quite large number. 81% of the company have at least one institutional investor as the investor. And as for the return of assets, it's negative 0, average is 0.36. Here we can see the correlation for each variables. Basically, most variables is significantly related among them. For example, return on asset and family firms, positively significant. Bumi Putra status and ROA also positively significant. However, for board independence is negatively negative and significantly related with ROA. The same goes with the audit committee size. It's negative and is negative and significantly related with ROA. In the study, 5-factor study are significantly associated to the company's performance. The factor also positively or either negative effects towards company performance. For example, the board of directors independent is negative, but most probably due to the directors of the company is not willing to focus their effort towards one company. Only instead they divide their time with another company. This will clearly decrease the ROA. The other four of the factors that is significant show positive relationship. For example, family-owned company shows positive effect for company performance because the working environment will likely be enjoyed by family ties and healthy competition will appear among boards. As for the Bumi Putra status, show positive effect towards performance because if the boss of Bumi Putra, the chance of getting support from the government is high because the government is likely to support a Bumi Putra business. As for audit committee size and audit committee independent, it both shows positive effect because the size of the audit committee members will make the work of audit more quality and end up increasing the firm company performance while the audit committee independent. This is because of the members of audit committee willing to focus and penetrate their effort towards one company only instead of joining another association. As conclusion, there are other possible factors of which other variables excluded from study and may assist to improve the accuracy of the results. Overall, the study looks at the importance of the ROA performance. Therefore, the company needs to look at all these factors to determine whether it can increase the return of asset or even drop it, because without giving a big concern toward these factors, the company may not be well managed. Therefore, I conclude my presentation. Thank you, and I open for any question from the floors.